Hey everyone, this is Rosemary from the Unfinished Lesson, and this is another Quick Win series. In this particular series, we are taking a look at how to host fun online group lessons. If you have missed the previous videos in this series, hit pause, go down below, and make sure you watch those videos. There's a lot of information there in terms of the different elements that you can use to make your group lessons fun. And in this video 5, we're going to be covering what I think is actually one of the most important ways that we can host those fun online group lessons, and that is building community. I've mentioned this a little bit in the previous videos, and that's because I really do think that this is one of the most important things that we can do. It's why students and their families stay. Even when life gets busy for them, when life gets tough, it's why families, talk about our studios to other families and friends, because they feel a connection. And so when we can make group lessons about community, it strengthens the bonds that we have with the families within our studio. So how do we do this? Well, in my studio, both when my students, we did in-person group lessons, and now that we do online group lessons, there's some things we do the same. We always have something as a warm-up, something that helps students settle in, and then we have sort of like an end activity as well to help students go on with the rest of their day. The reason that I do this is because I know as a teacher, if I don't do that, there are way too many variables that can influence how the group lesson goes. And I want to make sure that it's a positive experience. So I make sure that I'm kind of bookending the experience with building community. So you can take time to visit. That's one of the easiest ways. I would highly recommend at the start of your group lesson, just visit for a little bit. How was your week? What is something fun that happened, or something interesting that you learned or that you found out this week? Yes, you are probably going to hear about pets. You're going to hear about, video games. Yeah, you're probably going to hear about video games. You're going to hear about things that you might not normally get to hear about. But by giving each student just a little bit of time in an informal way, we don't want to go, okay, here's your 30 seconds. We want it to feel like a conversation is flowing, but it just kind of breaks the ice. And especially if you haven't done online group lessons in your studio before, it's really important for students to get a chance to know each other before you're getting into activities where they feel like they have to trust each other. I like to listen to a playlist, especially maybe at the end, something that's related to the topic or the theme of the group lesson. It's something that we can just have in the background that, again, it ties together the whole experience, but it's a pretty easy thing to do. And students get a chance to listen to stuff, go, ooh, I really liked that. Could I play that? Yeah, why not? Let's figure it out. And we can do that in their private lessons, for example, the next week. You can ask them what their favorite part of the group lesson was, or you can brainstorm as a group. What were some of the activities that they would like to see in future group lessons? I mean, talk about outsourcing your planning, right? When we know what our students love, we can make sure that we add elements of that, whether that's to their private programming, their one-on-one, or into future group lessons. We can ask them about their day or their week. So as I'm recording this, we are coming up on, we're in October. And so for our group lesson, it's going to end up being talking about, for example, Halloween plans, or if you have students that don't celebrate Halloween, then maybe you can talk about, well, what are your plans this upcoming week? Do you think you'll be hanging out with friends? Are you going to do something as a family? What do you have going on? It shows interest in our students that we aren't interested in them just as students, but as people. And so asking them what's going on or what will be going on in their lives outside of group lesson is a fantastic way to end. It gives us a chance to help our students get into the headspace of learning at the beginning, as well as getting to know some of the other students. But then at the end, it also helps them get into the headspace of, okay, group lesson is ending, and now I'm going to move into the rest of my day. As a parent, I have had my kids sent back to me where they were ready for the rest of their day. And then I've also had them sent back where they were super hyper, and we had to make time to kind of reset our kids into whatever else it is we needed to do for the day. I definitely prefer the first one. You know, it means that I'm not so worried about carving time out of our family schedule to help my kids transition because somebody has already done that hard work for us. And I shouldn't say hard work, it's not actually hard work. Like I said, something as simple as listening to a playlist and visiting will do the trick. All right, so before you go on with the rest of your day, here is your goal. I would like you to think about your next group lesson and how are you going to build community? What are you going to do at the start of the group lesson and at the end of the group lesson to really build that community among your students? Trust me when I say that this is completely worth it, not only from a studio management tool, right? That we're making sure the behavior of our students is good because they're in the headspace to learn, but also it's really worth it because then during the week, all of a sudden you can say, oh, you know what? Actually, do you remember so-and-so from the group lesson? Yeah. Well, when they played this song, they tried this strategy and it worked really well for them. Do you want to try it as well? All of a sudden we're building on that connection that they started in the group lesson. All right, so go ahead and write down below in the comments, what are you going to do to build community in these online group lessons? And then I hope you have an incredible day. If you liked this series, please be sure to hit the like button, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on future ones of these. And I look forward to seeing you in the next series.